Hey guys, welcome back to the DC show.
What if Madam Web is a good movie?
Stick around.
All right, guys. So our first topic for today is some of the more Fantastic Four casting rumors that we've gone over for years now. It feels like.
Yeah, it does feel like that.
It does seem like it's getting closer to an announcement, though, and there's a lot more rumors and speculation that Pedro Pascal is going to be Reed Richards.
Yeah, so this time we're getting a little bit more seemingly solid information from some insiders saying that he's basically working out the final details, and it seems like scheduling is the final thing to hurdle to overcome, and he's close to signing the contract.
Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff. He's in production with Gladiator 2 and a bunch of other stuff, right?
Or they're getting another season
Last of
Us.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm sure they're going to be doing more Mandalorian stuff. If nothing else, they're at least doing a movie later on, to tie up all the Filoni stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think we both agree this would be a pretty good casting.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm pretty happy
although
with it.
Reed Richards in the comics is not the best guy, so you don't want to really like Reed Richards depending on how they're going to do the character. And most people like Pedro Pascal, so we'll see how it goes with that. I mean, they might make him unlikable a little bit.
He can play, like, the dude is super talented.
Oh, sure.
I'm not sure if you remember his role as Oberyn Martell in Game of Thrones.
Today is not the day I die.
Have they told you who I am?
Some dead man.
You killed her children! Say it. Say her name. Say it!
Elia Martell.
He's kind of a likable jerk. Kind of like Reed Richards. I'm not saying that character is exactly like Reed Richards by any means.
But he is.
But he's exactly the same person. No. But my point is that Pedro Pascal can play many different roles.
Sure.
He did play a villain in Wonder Woman 84, although I'm not sure if we should even talk about that because that didn't go well, although I don't think it was his fault at all.
Spread misery.
Granted!
I wish everyone would do what I told
I wish they Granted!
Why are you doing this? Don't you have enough?
Why not more? Why not wish for more?
But they don't know what you're taking from them.
We want what we want! Just like you did! So make a wish.
I don't know what you're talking about, but okay.
You don't know what I'm talking about, really?
What movie did you say?
Wonder Woman 84?
Life is good, but it can be
Don't
better.
think about that.
Is that because you don't know about DC at all?
What are you talking about? What's that?
Nice. Okay. So that didn't exist. That never happened. But he is a really talented actor, and I think he can pull off the role.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll be good.
It'll be fun, I think, if it is who.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is to get quality actors. They don't need to look exactly like they do in the comics.
Sure, with Disney and everything, they got to have a lot of diversity.
Yeah.
With the rest of the cast, they are a little bit more from the rumors, a little bit more whitewashed,
a little more
a
whitewashed.
little more white, and so they like to have more diversity. So Pedro Pascal would be a good diverse Reed Richards.
Yeah, I don't mind. Reed Richards doesn't need to be like a middle-aged white man to me. I care less. They should have the look down somewhat. I mean, Pedro Pascal is, in my opinion, a really good age.
He has to sound intelligent because
he has to sound intelligent. It's really important for sure. I mean, Reed Richards is one of the smartest people in Marvel Comics,
if not the smartest.
Yeah, there's some debate depending on which line of comics you're probably talking about. Sure. There's like so many different. I think Moon Girl's supposed to be like super intelligent. Riri Williams is supposed to be super intelligent. Yeah. There's several that are in that category, but he's definitely in that conversation, if not at the top of it. So yeah, he's got to be able to sell that, not implying that Pedro Pascal is not intelligent, but he needs to play like super intelligent, to the point where that's part of the reason why he's such a jerk sometimes, especially to
Because people
his
don't
wife.
understand, and he's trying to explain it to them, but they don't get it.
That's part of it, but it's also partly because he prioritizes stuff like saving the multiverse or whatever
Yeah.
over his family, and like it's kind
Are
of,
you not hanging out with us and go save the multiverse?
I know, right? But he obsesses over those things.
Sure,
solving problems and stuff becomes more important to him than family often, and he neglects his wife a lot.
Yeah.
And then that's when you get
Namor.
coming in, and there's a lot of people kind of joking like, oh, like I guess this Sue Storm has a type. She's definitely into the
Latin.
the Latin, yeah.
The Latin men.
Well,
I think whoever's
is it-
cast as Sue Storm is
is
gonna be
it
a lucky lady.
Is his name Tenoch Huerta?
Yeah, I think so.
He's I believe he's Mexican, right?
Yeah.
And then Pedro Pascal is a Chilean, I believe, from Chile. But yeah, I mean, she definitely has a type, right?
So the rumored for Sue Storm's most recently been Vanessa Kirby.
Yeah, it's kind of been a persistent rumor for a while
the
now.
last couple months.
It's one of the few people that one of the names that's kind of stuck around for a
A
while.
lot of good stuff.
I believe she's in the Napoleon movie coming out
cool,
that
yeah.
I'm gonna go see tomorrow. So, or by the time you're watching this, I will have already seen it and maybe potentially did a direct out of theater review. We'll see, depending on how I enjoyed it. But yeah, Vanessa Kirby is a very diverse actress. If you saw the last Mission Impossible movie, you'll know that she kind of has to play kind of like multiple different roles in that. I don't want to give away too much if you haven't seen that movie. If you haven't, go check it out. It was pretty fun. A lot of action. But she's a really good actress. I'm super on board for that casting if that's who they choose. I feel like her and Pedro Pascal would make a believable couple.
Yeah.
Age-wise, I think it's okay. Pedro might be a little older, but I don't think it really matters. So, I mean, I think her and Tom Cruise had kind of a little bit of a romantic thing going on in some of the Mission Impossible movies, and he's significantly older, although you'd never be able to tell because he's a vampire. The dude just seems to not age, and he literally was a vampire in, Interview with the Vampire, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm super on board for that. And then, did you already mention her brother? I can't remember if you mentioned the casting for
Johnny Blaze?
not Johnny Blaze,
Johnny Storm.
for Johnny Storm. Yeah, sorry, I keep wanting to say Johnny Blaze for some
Yeah,
reason. I
that's
like
okay.
Ghost Rider too much, I guess.
Yeah. So the rumored most recently has been Joseph Quinn. Who's
Yeah.
most known for Stranger
Yeah.
Things. Played Billy.
Yeah, and he says flame on, so that's Blaze flame. I think that's what's really tripped me up. It's the fire thing.
Yeah. That is funny that they're both very fire based.
Yeah. But no, super on board for that casting. Like, I mean, I only know him from Stranger Things, but he was amazing in that, and I totally would buy him as Sue Storm's brother.
Like little jerk that like just does stunts and
Yeah. So yeah, I'm super cool with that. So
And then the rumored one most recently for Ben Grimm, The Thing, is Eben Moss Bachrach,
yeah,
who's known for from The Bear.
Bear,
and
yeah, which
a
I haven't
bunch
watched it,
of-
but I hear it's amazing.
Yeah, he's apparently a very amazing actor and probably could play any of these roles, including Doctor Doom. I mean, he could be cast for anything,
Yeah,
even Sue Storm. Yep.
apparently, yeah.
He's really good.
I don't think I've heard
So
that
we'll
rumor
see.
yet, but yeah, we'll see. So we're also getting another really prolific actor right now, Javier Bardem, supposedly rumored to be at least voicing Galactus.
He has that deep voice. I could see that.
He's got. I mean, he definitely has a thicker accent. It's gonna be interesting to see how they play that. I love Javier Bardem. That's not who I would have thought of to cast
Sure.
as Galactus.
We did
but
cast the Fantastic Four back in the day.
We did. Go ahead and check
And,
out our.
none
Fantastic
of these
Four.
were in them, but
I think we talked about Vanessa Kirby. Pretty sure.
Maybe you
yeah,
did.
I think we did. I don't know that she was necessarily our number one choice,
I think
but
she was on your list, but for sure, yeah.
yeah. But I think that it definitely didn't have Pedro Pascal at the time. I was like Dev Patel was looking pretty likely, but it seems like they really are making an effort to go after a more well-known actor right now. I'm not sure if that's due to some of the seemingly fails they've had or flops they've had in the MCU.
The fun thing is that they have a Council of Kangs, they have a Council of Reeds as well, so they can easily cast all of these people as different variants of Reed Richards.
Well, I mean,
Which would be kind of cool, fan service.
yeah, we already know that we have a John Krasinski version of Reed Richards, and I think he's been pretty.
And there's been other Reed Richards in the past Fantastic Four movies too.
Yeah, that's true. And I think Kevin Feige's essentially said like all that stuff is like fair game for being part of the MCU.
Miles Teller, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, most of these castings I'm really on board for. I don't know about you.
Yeah, for sure. And the other person that I haven't really heard any casting about was for Silver Surfer, but they could easily do that CGI again. Maybe get Doug Jones even in.
I would love that. I mean, if you're not familiar with Doug Jones's work, he's done so much work in like a lot of makeup, costume work. Oftentimes you don't recognize him because he's behind so much makeup, but he did do the acting for Silver Surfer in the Rise of the Silver Surfer movie. He's done a lot of stuff. He's done a lot of makeup stuff in I'm drawing a blank right now, his name. The
Guillermo del Toro.
Thank you, Guillermo del Toro's movies. Yes,
He's in Pan's Labyrinth, right? He's the creature.
Pan's Labyrinth, Shape of Water. I believe he's the creature in that.
I'll put up some pictures of stuff he's done.
Yeah, he plays the zombie. My wife's gonna destroy me for not remembering his name in Hocus Pocus. He was one of the creepy doctors in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer Hush. Just a lot of stuff. He's done a lot of stuff. He's a really good physical actor. So that would be cool. I'd be totally on board for that. But if one of the rumors that we saw today is true, it probably won't be the case.
Yeah, because there's a rumor that they might be going with the female version of a Silver Surfer, which is comic accurate, but I don't think a lot of fans are going to be too happy if we get a female Silver Surfer before we get Norrin Rad.
Yeah, I feel like that would be completely pointless. Although, yes, it's true. Silver Surfer was a man before he became the Herald of Galactus. The Silver Surfer himself, if we get him already in that form, is kind of just like a being shaped, a human shaped person. He's not overly masculine or feminine. I mean, he doesn't have genitals and stuff, like.
But he definitely, I think, looks more masculine.
Sure, he looks more masculine. He looks more masculine for sure. But I mean, he doesn't have there's no reason for him to be a certain sex.
Sure.
Like if you make him female, he's gonna be obvious. He's gonna have weird silver breasts and I don't know. I just don't see a reason to do it.
Sorry, I was thinking of the reasons.
Think of some reasons. Can you think of a couple?
At least 3.
So yeah. So anyways, my point is that I don't see any reason that they would need to change that role. Of all the roles out there, that one seems like the least important to change.
Yeah, and with the other rumor of who the other potential villain is being Frankie Ray, which is a form of Nova, a female Nova. Why you don't need to have them both be female. You could have the female Nova, and then have the male Silver Surfer. I don't know why. I get with the today. It's weird, but whatever. I mean, we'll see what they do.
For the most part, I think in the MCU, they're not changing these characters to be, male or female, or changing their race. But a lot of times there's legit versions of these characters already in the comics. I mean, She-Hulk's been around since the 70s or something in the comics.
Sure.
So it's not like they're just deciding, hey, we want to have a female Hulk that never existed before.
What about an Asian Hulk?
We've had Amadeus Cho as well. Your total favorite.
My favorite. Sure. Anyways, yeah. They do try to diversify characters. I mean, it'd be nice if they could just make original new characters that are based off of those races, like they're looking to do with the What If series.
Yeah.
They're Native American, it looks like, maybe.
It looks like she's Native American. That's definitely what it looks like.
So so we talked about What If season 2. I mean, it's coming out December 22nd.
Yeah. What If season 2? We discussed how we kind of heard a rumor it's coming out by the end of the year.
Yeah.
And Marvel totally confirmed that. They dropped a trailer and kind of like a little behind the scenes thing. That's in that behind the scenes things where they talked about that this is a new hero, new power set we haven't seen before.
Yeah, I don't have the name memorized yet, but
I don't either.
That on the screen for you.
But I mean, just like season 1, animation looks amazing, and we're getting a very unique drop schedule for this series.
Yep, they're going to do 1 episode a day starting on the 22nd through the end of the year.
Yeah, so that's going to be kind of fun. Something to look forward to right through the holidays, through the Christmas and into New Year's, or right up to New Year's. It's pretty interesting. It's a different way to do things, and
I'll put up a list of the episode titles, but some of them are kind of interesting. I don't know how they're going to connect them all because they seem to do that with the first season, so I would imagine they would do that this season as well.
Yeah,
but some of them are pretty out there. Some weird, interesting Christmas type themed episodes with Happy Hogan.
I believe that one's dropping on Christmas, which makes sense.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, in the first season, you're right. They did have not necessarily like every single episode tied in, but things from each episode maybe had some tie-ins. Maybe a character from it ended up ultimately being part of it.
Like showing it was all connected.
Yeah.
Through the Watcher.
Through the Watcher, Watu. And, we took a few moments to go through this trailer and paused a few times, looked at some scenes. And you definitely have a lot of multiple characters from season 1 making appearances, sometimes with Watu. Obviously he's getting more involved than he did in season 1. I mean, he really kind of waited to the last minute to get involved before.
They got episodes when like the 1400s or something like that, when they got Hulk with a mustache and they're doing some fencing, and they've got episodes with the some of the older Avengers like Hank Pym, along with T'Chaka and some of the other.
And a young Peter Quill. Who apparently got his powers
a lot younger
from Ego. Yeah.
So
and we get Ego showing up too in one of the trailers. Or
Odin.
one of the scenes.
We got Odin in it with both of his eyes.
And maybe with the scepter, with the
scepter that Loki
stone.
had.
Yeah. So it looks pretty interesting, man. I'm pretty excited. I think we're getting
Captain America going off against Thanos again, with knocking off the
it looks like he knocks out a stone out of the Infinity Gauntlet. Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. If you watched the first season, I'm sure you know it was a very dark show. There was one episode in particular where with Hank Pym where like it was brutal, man. He was like literally killing all the Avengers.
I wanted you to hurt. To witness everything you ever worked for, fought for, hoped for, die.
And what of Thor, Prince of Asgard?
Goldilocks? You would have recruited him in a heartbeat. Told him some malarkey about being a hero.
But
Sorcerer Strange for sure back.
Yeah, he's coming back for sure. Captain Carter looks like she's coming back. I'm not sure it's the same Wanda that was in the zombie. No, that was a zombie Wanda, right?
Yeah, so there's a Wanda,
different Wanda for sure.
And she's doing some kind of a big old blast with her power, and then it looks like maybe like Lady Sif or someone's there, and Odin, and then
Odin and Watu.
I don't know, so we'll see what they're doing.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. Sorry, I hope that didn't show up in the video.
Well, I hope it did.
You do like a thumbs up, and then like it. I know that's like there's reactions. I don't know how that got triggered.
I don't know. That's interesting. Hopefully it is in the video. Either way, this will be fun in the outtakes.
If you guys didn't see it, Doug gave a thumbs up or something, and it literally popped up on our screen. Like we'll see if it shows up or not.
I don't know.
Nothing else will get in the outtakes. I don't know.
That's funny. What If Season 2 is coming out December 22nd? One episode every day.
Yep. I'm excited. Let us know how you guys are excited for, if you're excited for. I'm trying to get the thumb to pop up. Anyways, all right, guys. So for our last topic of the day, we got kind of a out of nowhere trailer drop of Madam Web.
Yeah, we knew it was coming, but we haven't heard really much about it, and then they just Sony drops the trailer for it. You know?
I mean, it's one thing that's nice about the strikes being over is that we're getting like stuff like just dropped out of nowhere we didn't expect, things that were probably like just sitting there ready to go that they couldn't release, or didn't want to release until they knew kind of a time frame what they're looking at.
Sure.
So it's kind of cool that we're getting some stuff.
Yeah. With next year, we're only getting one official MCU movie with Deadpool 3, but we're getting 3 Sony movies.
Yeah.
This is one of them. This comes out in February. So Madam Web is Dakota Johnson and is playing Cassandra Webb, who is, if you know Madam Web from the comics, she's kind of usually an older lady. She's in a wheelchair. She's kind of connected to the Spider-Verse, essentially.
Typically blind, right?
Yeah, she's blind and then just connected to the Spider-Verse. She can sense all the different spider people. And she's not really, I don't think she really has she doesn't have like spider powers, but she's just connected to them all. And this is showing her like at a younger age, and she's like an EMT, and she starts to realize that she can see things happen before they happen, kind of like Final Destination.
It's in my opinion, it's kind of unclear whether or not she's doing like kind of a Groundhog Day thing where she's actually able to relive them, or if she's precognitive and like seeing them.
Seemed like that
and changing
to me.
Because she like goes through these moments and then like whoop, she comes back and she's like, oh,
I think she's just coming back into her,
like let's do it different this time.
Or something like that.
Yeah, so that's very well could be what's happening. It's hard to tell in my opinion for sure, but yeah, that's kind of the way it seems like it is, that she's getting to see it ahead of time so she could try to play out different ways. Not quite like Doctor Strange, who went through all those different, attempts at taking out Thanos.
Yeah.
He literally was going through those moments in time and using the time stone to go back. So this seems like it's probably a little different, more like precognition. So
it kind of shows her going into the diner where there's these 3 other ladies, and then all of a sudden there's like this person walks in that looks like Spider-Man, but not quite. So we find out it's Ezekiel Sims, which is a Spider-Man in the comics, but I'll put a picture of what he looks like, but he kind of looks more like a monkey dude, like an older dude who's got big feet. He can kind of like go on the walls like Spider-Man, but
and I think he's got very similar power set to Spider-Man. I believe he's kind of immune to triggering the spider sense, so he could sneak up on Spider-Man without Spider-Man knowing it, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But he's not necessarily bad in the comics. They're definitely making him appear to be a villain in this,
which is kind of what they did with Spider-Man 2099.
Yeah, it's true.
The Spider-Verse. You know, he's not necessarily a bad Spider-Man, but they kind of make him into the bad guy of the movie.
Yeah,
sort of
one of the bad guys.
Yeah. So yeah, we might get multiple bad guys in this movie too, but kind of, at least starting this off as it's Ezekiel Sims and these spider women essentially have to come together. We find out that the 3 women she's trying to protect or whatever are all spider women or spider girls.
Spider
Julia Carpenter
variants or different.
Sydney Sweeney. And then I'm going to apologize. I don't remember the other 2 actresses' names because they're unfortunately not as famous yet, but maybe this movie will make them famous.
It's true.
I don't know who they are.
I'm cautiously optimistic for this movie. I had heard someone say that it looks like a CW show, and then like now I could kind of like see that when I watch it. I'm like, it does kind of look like that.
Unfortunately, with it being more of a Sony property and not so much Marvel involvement, even though it is Marvel associated, it's probably not going to be as good. But I am going to check it out. I am going to give it a chance. Sony's
been very hit and miss. I know, obviously the Spider-Man movies, which obviously have more of a direct tie-in with Marvel because it's directly in the MCU as well. Those movies are great, especially No Way Home. I think it was, in my opinion, the best.
Pretty much any of the Spider-Man movies are all good. Some people don't really care for the second Andrew Garfield one, but
that wasn't as bad as I thought. There was things I didn't like what they did with Electro, the way they portrayed, like just over the top. Like they kind of corrected him in No Way Home.
It was much better.
Yeah, they just made it a little overly cheesy with him being like super nerdy and stuff. That they didn't need to do that. They could have, But beyond that, I actually really like Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. He's probably one of my favorites. Probably is my favorite.
Isabella too.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, Sony, like the Venom movies are both pretty good. Not my favorite. I did like Venom, the first Venom movie, a little better than Let There Be Carnage, which is kind of sucky
because Carnage is such a good character.
Yeah, I was disappointed. That's the main reason for me is because Carnage is like, dude, he is freaking ruthless. He's literally a serial killer who's like in overdrive because of the Venom, or sorry, the Carnage. Yeah, I don't know, man. That was kind of a bummer, but not a bad movie.
But we are getting Venom 3 next year too. It's coming out in November, and the other movie that's coming out is Kraven the Hunter. So
Kraven looks too much like Morbius to me as far as like I don't know. I'm not feeling it, and we'll see.
Aaron Taylor Johnson is not who I would have picked for.
No, but
Kraven,
he looks all right. Yeah,
he looks fine. And I'm sure he can do the accent.
Definitely bulked up and stuff. That's not for me. That's not the issue. Just I don't know. It seems a little cheesy. It's definitely different than what Kraven's like. It seems like they're like making him kind of a good guy.
Weird to have so many Spider-Man adjacent movies without Spider-Man in them. Essentially, I don't think there's gonna be any Spider-Man in these movies.
Yeah, I feel like early on,
possibly Venom, but probably.
Yeah, not. I feel like early on they wanted to do like a Sinister Six thing, and they already had these plans for these villain movies, and they were gonna culminate in like a Sinister Six with probably Spider-Man or something. But then when the Amazing Spider-Man 2 didn't do great, and they dropped the Amazing Spider-Man 3 and never concluded that whole storyline, I think they just they kept some of the ideas and kept going with it, and it just.
And now everything's pretty much canon according to Feige. So anything that was made in Marvel by any other studio that could be brought in as canon. So I mean, yeah.
Well, I think he left it open that saying it could be. It doesn't necessarily mean it is, but we do know that Venom is now officially part of the MCU, right?
At least the symbiote is.
Yeah,
I mean Venom was there too, but
for 5 years.
5 years?
It's a long time. Hey, maybe I should go to New York and speak to this Spider-Man.
We are drunk. Let's go skinny dip.
I don't think we should skinny dip.
Sir, you have to pay the bill.
What is happening? No, no, we just got here. No, not again.
Oh.
And there he goes. Without paying the bill, no tips, nothing.
But he still went back to his universe. But that
He did go
symbiote
back,
stayed.
but some of it stayed behind.
So
he was
likely
there.
we'll
He
get a black
literally
suit
was there
Spider-Man.
in the 616 for
Oh yeah,
for a bit
in Mexico. at the
hang out in
bar.
Mexico at a bar drinking. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see if there's gonna be a direct tie-in with Madam Web into the MCU.
Yeah.
It might depend on how well the movie does, whether or not Kevin Feige wants to allow it to be part of the MCU.
And whatever happens with, and what from my guessing is, if this is connected to all the, even if it's not connected to the Tom Holland Spider-Man, if it's connected to Andrew Garfield or whatever Spider-Man they want to connect this to, there definitely is a likely Ben Parker and May Parker.
Yeah.
Or not May Parker. Is that her name?
Yeah, it is May.
May
Yeah.
Parker.
Yep.
So they're going to have a younger version of Aunt May and Adam Scott as Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
Who was it playing Aunt May?
Shoot, we just looked.
Looked at it.
Yeah. It's right here on the screen.
It is.
It's right there.
And someone I should know too.
Yeah. To be fair, I don't know if those are official castings yet.
Ben Parker. I mean,
I'd heard that
Adam
rumor.
Scott's for sure in the movie because he was in the trailer.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
the other EMT with Dakota Johnson.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
He's for sure in the trailer, but
yeah, you're right.
She was not in the trailer.
Yeah, she probably will be then.
So they'll likely have a young Peter Parker or something. Maybe not in this movie, but it'll lead up to being when Madam Web becomes Madam Web, maybe in Beyond the Spider-Verse, they might have a animated Madam Web that's connected with this movie.
Yeah. So it does make sense, by the way, to have younger versions of Ben and May because this does take place in the past.
Yeah.
It's I think either late 90s, early 2000s, I believe.
Yeah.
So that it does make sense. So yeah,
we'll see how they tie it together. They have a plan. I'm assuming they're not just going to make it this movie for fun.
Do they have a plan?
I hope so.
I hope so too. I like Dakota Johnson as an actor, so I'm looking forward to seeing what she could do in this role. Like you said, it's definitely a little bit different iteration of Madam Web than what we normally see in the comics. But I'm excited to see what they could do with it.
They've done younger Madam Webs in the comics as well too.
Yeah,
but,
you're right.
Traditionally, she is an older lady.
Yeah,
in a wheelchair and blind.
Just chilling in a chair, blind. Yeah, just kind of like tapping into all the different spider people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what they do with it. I'm excited to see if they can make this work and hopefully have some ultimate tie-ins with the MCU.
Yeah. All right. What are your guys' thoughts on the Madam Web trailer?
All right, guys. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the DC show.
Be sure to like and subscribe. Have a marvelous day. Did we do that in one take?
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, let's do one more. All right. Yeah. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by and checking out the DC show.
What if Madam Web is actually a good movie? Stick around. Should I say? I need to say welcome back to the DC show. I said thanks for stopping by and checking out the DC show. I always say the ending.
Yeah. I heard you say that. I was like, all right, let's go with it.
I'll do one more. I was a little off on your stick around timing.
All right.
Hey guys, welcome back to the DC show.
What if Madam Web is actually a good movie?
Stick around. Sorry, you did this. I thought you were going to point.
I was like, what if?
Thumbs up from us. That's so weird. It got that one.
So weird. I was like, what the heck's going
It
on?
like totally threw us both off. We're like,
yeah,
what just happened?
Dang. I don't even know what I did if that was a thumbs up.
I don't know. Maybe it wasn't even a thumbs up. Maybe we just thought you were doing a thumbs up.
So good job, Doug. I like what you're talking about. Maybe AI is finally.
Also, dude, are we live streaming right now? Are people giving us some likes? All right, guys. So for the last topic of today, we got kind of a out of nowhere drop, a trailer drop. Okay, let me start over. All right, guys. So for our last, I can't speak. I'm doing it again. I'm trying to talk too fast. It's like when I couldn't say, "Are we finally getting some more mature content in the MCU?" And now I could say it.
And you could add it in the MCU.